Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like and make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. And remember, people, when we hit 5K subscribers on the channel, there'll be a giveaway to win a Chelsea training top from the new range for the upcoming season. So the quicker we get there, the quicker you've got a chance of getting your hands on one of those tops. So please do hit that subscribe button. And let's dive into today's video, guys, where I'm going to be discussing whether Chelsea need to sign another number 9. Now, at the start of the window, that would have been an absolute given. We obviously had our well-documented goal scoring issues last season, amongst many other things, but goal scoring has been a major issue at the club for a number of years now. And you could even look back over the last 20 odd years, all the strikers we bought in, all the millions we've spent on forwards, and really only Didier Drogba and Diego Costa can be deemed an outright success. Now, obviously, this summer we bought in Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal for just over £30 million and a good deal. But I think a lot of Chelsea fans at the time before pre-season, myself included, were thinking, right, okay, that's a good signing. Young up-and-coming player, could be useful for us in some capacity this season. But with Amanda Broja as well at the club, and Kunku, who can kind of play in that role, but isn't an out-and-out number 9, you're thinking, right, Chelsea desperately need to go and sign another forward. But you look at the market, it's not the best. Victor Osimhen and Harry Kane, the two big name strikers on the market. Neither of them are going to be attainable for Chelsea for obvious reasons. And then you're looking at the next rungs down. There were strong links with Lautaro Martinez earlier this summer. Those have gone very cold now. Haven't heard his name linked with Chelsea much over the last few months. Obviously, got Randall Kolo-Muani at Frankfurt, who again, Chelsea are interested in him, but they're going to want a lot of money for his services. And he's not really an out-and-out 9. He's more of one of those versatile forwards. And then you've got Dusan Vlahovic, who, divides opinion at the club in terms of one of the board of directors is a big fan of his, but Pochettino and others aren't so sure on his abilities either. But let's dive into it then, because the emergence of Nicholas Jackson has kind of raised the question as to whether Chelsea do need to sign another number 9. I don't think anyone, fans or people inside the club, expected him to make the impact that he's made this quickly in pre-season. And yes, of course, you can say it's just pre-season, but it's all we've got to go off. And, he's been very, very impressive amongst the goals, getting assists, hold-up play looks good, link-up play is good, finishing is good, he's lightning quick. And, he's ticked all the boxes and he's done way better than anyone would have ever thought he would have done. And, hopefully he can develop a decent understanding with Christopher Nkunku as the season goes on. So Jackson is very much a big plus and a big positive, which is making Chelsea fans think, do we need to go and get another number 9? But the way I look at it as well is, well, Amanda Broja is another option we've got there. But again, Broja, unfortunately, picking up that ACL injury before the World Cup in a friendly against Aston Villa, has ruled him out for the vast majority, for the second half of last season. He's missed the pre-season tour, and that's put him at a huge disadvantage because Jackson's had a huge emergence and Kunku's shown that he can play there. If the club go and sign someone like a Mohamed Kudus, potentially, who can also play in that position, or the Dusan Vlahovic, Romelu Lukaku swap deal goes through, then Broja finds himself essentially at this point in time fourth choice behind potentially Vlahovic, Jackson, Nkunku, and then Amanda Broja. So Broja, who I think has got a future at the club, and I do like him as a player, physical, tall, strong, good finisher, quick, but he's a complete unknown because we don't know how good he's going to be after he comes back from his ACL injury, which is why Pochettino has always said that, if we can add another striker of a certain profile, then he would very much be interested in doing that. And for what it's worth, I do think Amanda Broja should go out on loan. And if we can bring in someone else, then we should absolutely look to do it. But at the same time, the options don't seem to be that great. I mean, I'm personally not that keen on the Dusan Vlahovic Lukaku swap deal. I feel that the club are more invested in this deal potentially because it's an avenue to get rid of Lukaku rather than actually wanting to get Dusan Vlahovic. And the fact we said no to Vlahovic in July indicates that the club aren't keen on him. They're unsure on his adductor injury issues, and they're also unsure on whether he's the right fit for what Pochettino is ultimately looking to do. Now, obviously, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, absolutely, let's not sign another number 9. But it's a big gamble if we don't go with that because obviously Nicholas Jackson goes off to the African Cup of Nations in January. And yes, of course, we can revisit the situation in January, but we know it's harder to buy in January. Prices could be more inflated than they normally are. And with, of course, the Chelsea tax on top of that, where clubs seem to like to whack their prices up, we could find it a tricky market to find another forward in. Yes, people obviously say Ivan Toney, but again, he wouldn't be available towards the end of January. But then when would he be match fit? probably not until well into February or March, and it's best part of a whole season almost gone at that point in time. But I think we do need someone else potentially, because Jackson goes off. That leaves you Broja, who we've got no idea how he's going to do, and that leaves you Christopher Nkunku, but it doesn't account for any injuries or suspensions. And knowing our luck at Chelsea, hopefully the medical staff and the fact that we're fitter and seemingly better conditioned under Pochettino heading into this new season, we should be looking at picking up less injuries. But injuries are part and parcel of football. And one injury to Nicholas Jackson or Nkunku, and we're bang in trouble. You're ending up with Amanda Broja leading the line. And no disrespect to the kid, but he's totally unproven. We're not too sure how good he really is. He had 6 good months at Southampton. Poor for the second half of the season. Yes, I fully understand inconsistencies in young players. You're absolutely going to get that. But then we've got no idea how he's going to come back from that injury. He's shown glimpses, at Chelsea that he can be half decent, but on a regular basis leading the line, we don't really know. And the fact that we're desperate for more goals on the side, we are probably 30 or 40 goals short last season as a team overall, and you're still not entirely sure where those goals are going to come from. I predict, Jackson to get a few, and Nkunku to get a few as well, and the likes of Mudryk, etc., to chip in with a few more to try and close that deficit. But injuries, African Cup of Nations in January, that does leave us very short in the striking department. So I think, whilst of course, I'd be happy going into the season with what we've got, we are taking a huge risk that an injury or a suspension leaves us massively short, and going with someone in Amanda Broja who is totally unproven. Yes, the signing of a Mohamed Kudus or a Michael Elise makes that slightly easier. If Jackson were to get an injury and Nkunku could play as the 9, and of course we could then have Kudus or Elise operating in that number 10 role. But you do still feel that we might be slightly light. Yes, there's been links with Wahi. The club are big fans of him, the 20-year-old forward from Montpellier in France. But the idea was potentially to loan him out, but we still haven't met Montpellier's asking price for him as of yet. But I don't think he would come in and be part of the first team either. I think at this point in his career, he probably is better than Amanda Broja. But, the club have invested in Broja. He's been here at the academy for a long time. And he signed the new 6-year contract. When was it? Back in sort of September, October time. So the club clearly see him as part of the future. So we have to wait and see what happens with him. But the emergence of Nicholas Jackson has certainly raised that question. But there's also no guarantees that Jackson will kind of hit the ground running immediately in the Premier League either, despite his impressive preseason form and despite him displaying the attributes that he can, look like he can be a very good player and hold his own in the Premier League. So Chelsea are in a tricky position here, because you're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't kind of situation. Because if we don't, then you can guarantee some sort of injuries might be picked up and we're massively short. And if we do we is it going to be the right player coming in? Are we going to be getting value for money? Is it going to disrupt the sort of the feel good factor around the club? You absolutely have to expect competition at a top club like Chelsea, and expect competition certainly in that centre forward position. And you're always going to be, aware that Chelsea are going to be looking to bring in top strikers, and competition is really important for positions. It drives you on to improve better, and it gives you lots of options as well. So, and that is exactly what you need, whether we're battling multiple competitions, whether it's just for different opposition or different points in time in the game for a different option you're looking, if you're chasing a game or trying to see a game out or whatever it may be. But this question now was really easy to answer once the season finished. But now that we're into August and about 9-10 days away from the season starting, it's actually become a lot more of a difficult question to answer. I mean, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you think we need to, as Chelsea, sign another number 9? Obviously, I'd be for it if it's the right profile, it's the right player, and we're fully invested and on board with it. But I don't want us to just sign someone for the sake of it. And I look at it and I think the most likely outcome is going to be the Dusan Vlahovic-Lukaku swap deal goes through, although I would be worried about that, how our thoughts on Vlahovic can suddenly change within a space of weeks. Or the other idea is that Wahi comes in from Montpellier but he won't go straight into the first team. So I don't really know what's going to happen here, but for me, I think it's going to be Vlahovic or it's going to be no other number 9s coming in, which is both of those moves have got their own risks attached to them. But as I said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, whether you think Chelsea do need to go and sign another number 9 this window. And if so, realistically, who can the club look at targeting? As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Remember, guys, at 5K subscribers, which is not too far away now, there'll be a giveaway for a Chelsea training top from the range for the new season. So the quicker we get there, the quicker you've got your chance to get your hands on one of those. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video. Take care, up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.